Okay, it's Saturday, the 24th of April, 9 p.m. I believe we're live. Hi to everybody who's joined me in the stream already. I better just move over here because I bet this sound's going to come on. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, it's off. Good. Okay. Right. Hi. If you just joined us. Another stream, another Saturday. Is it a week already? Right. Who we got? Normal suspects by the looks of it. Hi to Safon from Chicago. Okay, Scott. Yeah, hi, Scott. Let me just give a quick, before I do that, let me just give a shout out to a couple of people. I want to say hi to a guy called Paul. I believe he's blind and he listens to this through he's got some specialized computer system and he wanted to leave comments, but being blind is a bit difficult. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. But it's he asked me to say hi. So, Paul, if you're getting this, big hi to you, mate. I hope you're getting this loud and clear. I'm also going to say hi, thank you to a couple of donators to the channel this week. Once again, David Krause, that's like 4 weeks in a row. Thanks very much, David. Appreciate that. And Scott Barron, thanks to you also for your donation. Okay, so let's get back to these comments, see who's here today. Been a nice day, hasn't it? I hope it's been a nice day in the UK. I hope where you've been, where you live. Okay, hi to Safon K. Yeah, I'll get back to that. John Smith, hi, John Smith. Jim A18. Yeah, thanks for that. There's an interesting comment in here. I'm going to actually just read this out in a minute, and let me just get rid of this thing going across the front of the screen. I've got to replace it with another one for a minute because I get sponsored by StreamYard. They let me use this software for free if I give them a mention. So that's it, you know, with a green screen and the interface to YouTube. So I'll leave that there for a minute. Let me go back to these comments. Yeah, Seamus Doherty, hi to you. Academic Traveller, seen you on Ed's stream on Wednesday. I'm going to talk a little bit about Ed Sweeney's stream as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Trevor's stream from last week, Trevor Buzimpatia. I'll be talking about that. Hi to Davy Boy. Good morning from the Gold Coast. Hi to Shin Rana, sorry. Bob Smith, hello, Peter, thank you for the okay. Glenn Hendricks, hi to you. You've seen the Serpent finally, did you? Great, that's a great show that was. Bit slow to start off, wasn't it, the Serpent, but it got good. No Name, hi. Matthew Allchrome, hi. Great stories today. There was some good. I like the second story. Those guys, I mean, 6,000 baht. If you did you watch the stories? It was. Blimey, Nick Frankel, thank you very, very much for that super chat. That's actually the biggest super chat I've ever had, $20. Thanks for that. Usually if I get it, somebody sent me £1 last week. It was appreciated, but thanks, Nick, for that. I do appreciate it. Hi to Tilt and Highway Star, Timmy Soul, hi. Just say hi to everyone first and we'll have a little bit of chat what's going on at the moment. Dean Clark, hi. Guideline 7 greetings from Germany. ABC Def, good evening, Peter. Looking forward to your live stream. Even more so, okay. Yeah, good weather in Ireland as well, according to Seamus. Alexander DuPont, hi to you. Mark Hammond, hello, sexy man. FC, hi. Sam AAA, hi. Robert UK, Jeff Ives, hi to you. Good evening. Billy Boy. Yeah, glad you appreciated them stories. Hedge Funge, hi. Dirty Barry. I will start speaking about things in a minute. I'd just like to say hello to everybody and then we can crack on with what we're talking about. There's another super chat from Franco. Thanks, Franco. I do realise you've done that quite a few times now, a few weeks, and it pays for the beers. And I know people keep saying they appreciate it, but I do, honestly. Thank you very much again. Hi from Mazza. Hi, Peter. My comment got deleted. I only said good evening. Mazza, it wasn't me, honestly. I haven't deleted. The only reason I delete a comment in the chat is if someone said something very derogatory and rude to me, then I'd have to delete it. I don't know why. I've been mentioning this last week and the week before. YouTube seemed to withhold certain people's messages. I don't know what the reason it is, but honestly, I haven't deleted it. Try sending it again. Well, it's not been deleted because I've just read what you said. Alexander DuPont, those stories reminded me of my first time, begin complete newbie, but we were students, so we're cautious about money. Yeah, just if you didn't watch them stories today, a couple of guys, the second story, they arrived and they asked to go to the what do you call it? The Hard Rock Cafe, and the tuk-tuk driver took them to some seedy joint, and then another seedy joint. They ended up having a beer. They spoke to a couple of girls, and they were like, 5,000 baht each and 1,000 baht each for the taxi. I was cringing when I read it, but I bet they won't do that again. Pinball, hi to you, sir. Munya can do, yeah. Hi. Juan Carlos, hi. Ed Sweeney said he's fine with live stream. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about Ed in a bit. Vic 20, greetings from Norway. Beautiful Norway, yeah. Nicholas Fletcher, Peter Story today saying, girl, never been to Thailand. First bite, even the eyes must have gone round like a fruit machine. Yeah, I know. Frarash, Adrian Bates, hi. I'm trying to find this comment that somebody wrote about somebody's impersonating me on Facebook. I've not seen it. Let me just try and find this. Is it one of the early ones? Here we go. So this is from Rumpleby. It says, Peter, someone is still using your name on Twitter, talking wild things about Thai bar girls and UK escorts, etc. Well, they can. It doesn't bother me. People will know it's not me because I'm very polite. I don't talk about escorts. I'm actually married, so I'm not going to be talking about escorts in the UK. And wild, I don't know what you quite mean by wild, but I imagine they're saying some pretty risque stuff. But it isn't me. I don't really need to defend it. You know what I talk about and what I do. So if they want to get off on that, that's up to them, isn't it? Right, okay, I think we've said hello to everybody. Larry Francie, I don't know, hi to you. You're in Salt Lake City, USA. Gary let me try and pronounce this. Lawowski, I think it is. Gary Lawowski, hi there. High five, hi. Costa KK, hi. Ryan Tesco, hi. Peter from Ko Chang. Okay, hi. You're in Thailand, good. Nick Franco, hello, Trevor. Okay, right. What should we talk about first? We've got 144 in now. Yeah, hi, Trevor. I was going to talk about you, nothing bad. So hi to Trevor from Buzzin' Pat here. He's with us at the moment. And I'll be talking about Ed Sweeney as well. Hi, David. Thank you very much for that super chat. I do appreciate it. So I like to read out a few of these stories. There's nothing out there at the moment. It's all the virus and how many people have been infected and all the rest of it. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's really hard to get any little stories for you. But I've managed to get a few bits and pieces, so I'll get into them later. Nino, hi. Right, so let's talk about Trevor and Buzz and Pat here. Great channel. Trevor, sincerely, it's a good channel. I like it. I'm actually subscribed to you, so I get notifications. So I do watch your videos. If you haven't seen it, Trevor made a video last week, and he was a bit, what's the right word? Quite concerned, I think it was. That's a good word to use. So what he'd done, he'd interviewed this guy in Pattaya. Now, I've never heard of this guy. Now, apparently he's some kind of an ex-thug or hooligan or whatever you want to call him. And apparently there's somebody's making a film about him or whatever. But Trevor went in and interviewed this guy, and he's known to a lot of people. People said he's associated with certain groups, and they basically slated Trevor off. They said, look, how can you bring this guy on? How can you interview him? And Trevor pulled the video, which I thought was the wrong thing to do personally. He did, to be fair to him, he put it back later with big capitals. This is only non-judgmental or something like that. But what it was, he interviewed this ex-football hooligan, and a lot of people came on, left comments. I'm unsubscribing from you. I don't know why you're dealing with this guy, and I'm really disappointed you interviewed him. And I did leave a comment on for Trevor. But what I said, look, Trevor, at the end of the day, if the BBC interview a serial car thief, it doesn't mean they agree with it. It is just that, isn't it? It's just an interview. So Trevor was I think he was a little bit upset about it, and he pulled the video. He put it back later. But if you're watching this, Trevor, really, you're going to get this. And I had one where I've got to be really careful how I say this now. I had a guy write to me about an experience he had in Thailand. He had a great experience in Thailand. Now, I described him as, he's from America. I said he's colored. Now, apparently that you can't use that word. You just don't use it anymore. I honestly didn't know. And I said, look, his name's Desmond. Here's his story about when he went to Thailand. And I said, just to let you know, because this will play into the video later, he's colored. And I got, especially from America, I get lots of flack from people saying, oh, you can't say that. That's racist, blah, blah, blah. And I think somebody said, what you've got to say is a man of color or a person of color. So however I'm saying it tonight, guys, please don't start sending in, you know, saying I'm racist. I'm not. But what I did, I made a follow-up video, and I didn't pull the video because I've got the same as Trevor. And I said, look, in that second follow-up video, it was called something like a simple mistake. I just made a sincere, honest video, and I said, look, that video was just Desmond's story. I told it as best I can. There was no agenda. I wasn't trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be racist. It was what it was. If anybody was offended, I apologize. And that was the end of it. I got a few nutters write some stupid stuff to me, but I just deleted them. So, you know, that happens. And once you're in a public forum, then you're going to get, you know, everybody's a critic, aren't they? Okay, so let's see who else has joined us, and then we'll talk about a few other bits and pieces. Oh, and Trevor, if you live in, obviously you live in Pattaya, so if anybody lives in Pattaya, you're going to have a bit of competition in August because you've got 2,000 US Marines or troops. You know, they're taking part in this military exercise. It's called Cobra Gold, and they're going to have their R&R in Pattaya. So it won't be the same for them this year for obvious reasons, but 2,000 of them. I think I'd stay home on that day. But mind you, I have been in Pattaya when the American military's been in. They're very well behaved, very friendly. I've had drinks with them and no problems whatsoever. And obviously very popular with the girls in the bar. Right, so let's see what you guys are talking about. I've said hello to everyone. Let's just see what you're talking about, and then we'll discuss it. Did you see the stories today? What did you think of them? Right, okay. We'll talk about Ed in a minute. Nicholas Fletcher, story. Well, I did come across some things I wanted to talk about. I'd like to thank the people that suggested the book Private Dancer last week. I bought the audio straight away, and I found it very entertaining. It's still running. Second part, that it always comes up, doesn't it? Private Dancer by, and I forgot his name again, and you did tell me last week, Stephen, is it Stephen Glover? So anyway, it doesn't matter. But a lot of people say it's like a Bible. You know, if you're going to Thailand for the first time, you should, you know, you should read Private Dancer. I've read it. All the people we talk about and all the bars he talks about, all the names have been made up, but they are real bars and they are real people. I mean, one of them, he calls a guy fat, so I know exactly who that guy is. I know where he drinks. But yeah, there's a couple of good books. We discussed this last week. I won't go over old ground. Right, Jamie 296. Yeah, thanks for that. Right, okay. David Andrew. Hi, Peter. New here. Love your videos. Stuck here in Scotland. Yeah, good. Hi. Nice background. Yeah. Well, wish we were there for real. Pat, you're in the background there. Right, Trevor, we've said hi. Ryan Tesco. Hi, Peter from Chang-Mia. That was the last one. Right, Matthew Cartwright, good to see you. Cheers, Peter. Yeah, hi. And I have got the usual for later on. Got the Kronenberg, 500 milliliters, and the see-through 7-Up as usual. There it is. It's green. The bottle's green. We'll have that in about I don't know, half an hour or so. Right. Okay. Hi, Damon. How are you doing? Okay. A lot of people giving you compliments here, Trevor. That's good. Diligent Crab, African American. Yeah, I don't want to go. I just don't want to go down there anymore. I got so much flack the last time. Right, Mazza says, top man buzzing, you did nothing wrong, as well as Peter with the Desmond video. There's always people who get offended. You are both. Yeah, Trevor, I mean, if you have time, I know you're a busy man around Pattaya, but if you have time, have a look at that. I can't remember what the video is called. If anybody can remember what that video is called about Desmond, just send us a title, and then Trevor can have a watch of that, because it's on a similar kind of, I got flack on that like you did on yours. Neil Fleet, hi from Liverpool. Never been to Liverpool. Like to go. Right, Stephen. I'll try and pronounce that. Stephen Nurse Explorer 1. Okay. Right. Hey, can me, Stephen, and my son Callum get a shout out? Yes, you certainly can. Right, Stephen and Callum. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the stream. There you go. Big shout out. Okay, no name, maybe a disclaimer. Fran Rush. Looks like they're all opening in Phuket in July. Yeah, I wouldn't lay money on that one. Right, I got a message from, you know, Irish Dave, Bangkok Diaries. He messaged me today, and he said his exact words were, he said, things are very bad at the moment, Peter. He said 3,000 new cases today. So I can't, you know, they're opening up in July, really. Right, Adrian Bates. Good. I've lost you. Where are you? Okay, Adrian Bates, good story, Dave. Thank you. Somebody just meant. Ah, there we are. Sorry, Seamus Doherty. Bangkok Tattoo is a great book. Have I read that? I don't think I've read that one. I'll have a look for that on Amazon. Gary. Hi to Gary Russell in Rotherham. Yeah, Diligent Crab. I would bet the patio will make sure it's open in August. Hi from Sheffield, that's X2 Joel. Okay, so I think I've said hi to everybody now. There's 181 in the chat at the moment. Hopefully we'll get a few more in. So let's talk about Edward Sweeney's stream on Wednesday. You know, I'm subscribed to Ed. I like Ed's stream, and it was basically very sad at the end. I think he sounded very depressed about it, actually. But what he was saying, if you didn't see that, Ed was saying that he's going to put his live streams on hold for a while. And the reason for that, I think he's a bit down in the dumps, if the truth be told. But I kind of agree with him where he's coming from. He was sort of saying, look, I can't keep coming on here week after week talking about the same things. If you get guys, you know, who are in Thailand, CB Media, you know, he makes brilliant videos, doesn't he? You know, people are watching because every week he's doing something different. Johnny from Something's Happening, he made one for him lately, the Sugar nightclub. They've opened a radio station, and Johnny did a video on that. So the people who are there, Trevor and Patia, you know, I mean, it's all interesting stuff, isn't it? So you're there, you know, you can do it. But people like Ed Sweeney and myself, I've been lucky because I got into these stories. I started off telling a few stories that I know from personal experience, like the do you remember one of the early ones, my friend who jumped off a balcony in Pattaya because he got ripped off by that girl. I didn't realize they'd be so popular, those stories. And then I told the one about Peter the school teacher. He lost his house, and it kind of got momentum. You guys said, hey, I got a similar story, and you started sending them in, and I can't believe I've been telling them for over a year now. And just when I'm getting to the bottom, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to pack this up because I've got no more stories left. I put a call out and I get a load in, you know, and I got a backlog again. So I'm lucky for that. But I do know where Ed is coming from. I understand him. You know, he does the same thing every week, like everybody else does who's not in Thailand. And Trevor, thanks, mate, for your support. Just replied, but missed it. But I know with these comments so hard to keep up. Yeah, okay, thanks, Trevor. Yeah, so back to Ed Sweeney. I like his streams. I think I've mentioned just about every week I've done a stream. And, you know, he's got to the point now, he's been doing the streams for about a year, I guess. And he was kind of saying, look, I can't come on here every week. It's the same old thing. We talk about the same old stuff, and it's getting stale, and he's just fed up. So with that in mind, I had a chat. You know, remember, you haven't seen much of him yet. Simon, I've teamed up with somebody who's in... we did one live stream together, but I've teamed up with Simon, not to be confused with Simon Lander Smiles. He's Simon, my best friend who lives in Bangkok. He's married, he's got kids there and everything. And I brought him into the channel to put a bit of a Thai flavor on it. So what I've decided to do, because he hasn't been around much with his work, business and stuff, but he's been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So he's been setting up memberships that we haven't launched yet, but it's all been approved by YouTube. He's been setting up merchandise. He's got a great video coming up this Wednesday. He's actually, he's applied for a residence permit. They give out about 100 a year. These are like you're like a Thai. When you get a residence permit, you're like a Thai. You can buy property, you can own a business, you can do everything that a Thai person does. And he hasn't quite got that, but he's got something in between a regular retirement work visa and that. I don't know exactly what it was, but he's got this video coming out on Wednesday, and he's in the police station. He asked the police, do you mind if I film inside? And they were like, that's okay, but don't point your camera there, point it there. And he's going to fully explain that. So that's the reason I brought Simon on board. So with that in mind, and thinking about what Ed Sweeney had said in his live stream about things getting stale, I spoke to Simon today on Zoom for quite a while. So what we've now decided to do, I said to Simon, because of his business, it's very hard to pin him down. Like he'll do a live stream and then I don't hear from him for, well, I hear from him, but he can't do another one because he's got clients. And I said, look, Simon, you've got to be consistent. If you put a video up, it's got to be every week, same day, same time, like the Saturday videos, they're coming. And I said, if we do a live stream, you've got to do it every week because, if you don't do it, people will just get fed up. So what we've now decided, I'm going to, instead of doing every single Saturday night by myself like I am now, I think for the moment, I'm going to cut it down to every other week, 2 a month. So next week, I won't be here by myself live, but the week after I will be. And what we've decided to do is Simon and I are going to do a live stream together because of the time difference. It's very, very difficult. Obviously, at the moment, he's 6 hours ahead, and it's even worse in the winter. He'll be 7 hours ahead. So the time that kind of suits us best, because I work as well, part-time. The only time we could come up really was, we're not pinching Ed's spot because we're going to be earlier, but it'll be 6 p.m. Thai time on a Wednesday. So Trevor, you'll be able to watch it. And anybody who's in Thailand. But I don't know how we're going to get on in the UK because obviously everybody watching this now, it's Saturday night. You're not at work. You've got time. And I'm just thinking, we don't know how it's going to go. Last time we did one, it was just ad lib. We said, oh, let's just do one. We didn't advertise it or anything. And we had over 100 people in the stream. So that's what we're going to do. So next Saturday, I'm not going to be here. But this Wednesday coming, Simon and I are going to do one together. And we're going to try and turn it into, what we'd like to do is bring you guys into the stream. So, on Zoom, you can bring up to, I don't know how many people, but you can have lots of little screens. We want to bring people in. So it's not just me and Simon talking to each other. We bring you guys in. You can say your piece. And I don't know how it's going to quite work. Simon's a techie guy on that. But we'll bring you into the stream and, you can ask live questions to Simon. He's in Thailand and, all that sort of thing. So that's what we plan from. That's what we plan from after this week. Okay, let's have a look at these. Taxi to Lao. Now, why is YouTube withholding your comment? Let me just see what it says. Oh, yeah, I can't put that up, really. Taxi to Lao. I kind of know where you're coming from on that, but I'll probably get my YouTube channel pulled if I if I show that. Right, let's go back. Right, just trying to find the... It's kind of hard. I've got one mouse and two screens here. Okay, there's a little bit of a private conversation going on about that subject that YouTube wouldn't show. Greg will miss Ed's squeaky door. Mine started getting squeaky, but I never get up on a live stream, and I WD-40'd it. So, oh yes, thanks. It's annoying. You see, hang on. Where did that come from? Right, Mazza. Yep, Ed is great. Recommend by yourself, Peter. Hope to see him back someday. I don't think he'll be away very that's the one I was looking for. Nick Frankel. We need Trevor, Pete, Ed Sweeney night out stream with things open. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I don't think he'll be gone too long because he'll miss it. It's all right saying you're bored and you don't want it to become stale, and but when you don't, it's an enjoyable experience when you do a live stream. It's quite enjoyable engaging with people, and if he doesn't do it for a few weeks, I'll give him a month at max. I might be wrong, but we'll see. Simon last. Ed would be a great guy to have a pint with. Well, he likes patio, so you might bump into him one day there. Fran Rush, missing Walking Street. Great times there. Yeah. Okay. Adrian Bates, what's the subject? Not sure on that one. Yeah, Greg, Peter, your impromptu pub live stream with Simon was awesome. Yeah, so if you like that, it's gonna hopefully it will be better. Taxi to that. I'll watch in midweek. Can take my laptop into the garden. You can't beat working from home situation. Yeah, I know. Simon last. No Ed on Wednesday. No you on Saturday. Will be. No, I'm still here. It's not just every other week. I mean, if I'm here every week, you'll get. It'll get, like Ed said, it will get stale, won't it? Okay. Darren Drew. Hi Peter. Just joined the stream. What do you think of the chances of getting out to Thailand in November? Honestly, mate, I wouldn't hold your breath. I'm like you. I'm just guessing, but. It's going the other way now. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were saying there's light at the end of the tunnel. They're opening up Phuket. They've got special areas Chonburi was going to be open, which is Pattaya, obviously. But, you know, when I get messages sent to me today saying 3,000 new cases in a day, and I'm reading what I read on the internet, I mean, I've written this year off, completely written it off. I'd like to think April next year. I mean, I know that sounds a long way off. I'm just being realistic, guys. If I'm wrong and we get there before, then, you know, I'll put my hands up and say I was wrong, and I'll be happy. But honestly, I just don't think it's going to happen this year. Or if it does, they'll make it so difficult with all these certificates and quarantines and all the rest of it. It just won't be worth going. Right, Nick. It's funny how you and Trevor get haters, like when Trevor mentioned they blew him off at the Kevin Thailand Memorial. And when people try to tell you how to run your videos, you do it for free. Yeah, I used to do it for free. Yeah, Nick, I've sold out now. I've got advertising on there, but I figured, hey, why not? You know, when I started, it was a few hours here and there. It's a lot of work running a YouTube channel. I mean, I've mentioned this loads and loads of times. Those stories that I do, they take 35 minutes. They take me an entire day to do them. You know, it's not like I come in for an hour and bang, that's it. It's a lot of work. So I thought, well, I might as well get something for it. And I have to split it with Simon now anyway, so it's not a lot. Dirty Barry, great name. Where are you? Where will be the first place you go when we that comes up every week? It's Pattaya, of course. Well, no, it won't. It'll be Bangkok, because we land there, don't we, most of the time? Oh, don't say that. I'll put that up on screen, but I hope you're wrong. Why have I still got that banner going? Hang on, that's annoying. Let me just get rid of that. It's been going for about an hour. Right. Right. This is what Kepler says. I hope you're wrong. I really do. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's. Right. Taxi to Loud. Peter, what's the most amount of money you've heard of a bar go extracting money from foreigners? I know some have several guys sending money. I used to know. Well, one of my friends used to own, his dad used to own the big bar on the 3rd floor in Nana. I think it's called Billboard now. It used to be called the Carousel. Johnny owned that, and his son Kevin was the manager. He ran it, and I used to go in and have a drink with Kevin. All the girls knew that I didn't take any girls at the bar. I had my Korean wife with me in Bangkok, and so the girls would talk to me, and they knew it was, you know, when they come off stage. Sometimes I bought them a drink. There's nothing wrong with that. They're talking to me. I don't mind buying them a drink. They used to be cheap in them days. But I remember talking to one girl, and she was telling me, and she wasn't boasting. She was talking, and she said that she had, at that time, she had 6 guys sending her money, anywhere from between sort of $100. One guy was sending, I think, $600-700 a month. And I said to her at the time, I said, look, well, if you've got 5 guys sending you money, you've got more than enough to live on. Not only live on, but have a very comfortable life. You know, at latest, she had a better phone than I had at the time. And it's just not in their sort of style to say, I've got enough money, I'll stop dancing now. It's all extra. She could have had 10 guys sending her money, and she'd have still danced. She'd have still gone off with customers. If they got, you know, they just don't stop. As far as who have I seen lose the most money, I guess it was, well, there's been several, but there was one, Thomas, that's the name of my friend. If you remember that story, Thomas was a taxi driver, and he was, you know, he'd had a divorce, and he had his own council house that he owned in, I won't tell the whole story again, but just to answer your question. So Thomas was a taxi driver. He had quite a bit of money saved. He'd paid for his house. He'd been going over Thailand regularly, been doing the bar. Pattaya was his favorite place. He was doing the bar scene, the Walking Street scene. He was bar finding every night. But you get to a point, so I've been told, you get to a point where it becomes a bit monotonous, believe it or not. And that might be hard to understand if you've never been to Thailand. You think, what, girls every night? How can that get boring? But it does. And, you know, if you're going out night after night and you're drinking and you're taking girls out of bars, you know, there's nothing there, is there? It's kind of like, yeah, there is the physical side of it, but after a while, guys want something more than that, especially single guys or guys who've gone through divorces and stuff. And this is what happened to Thomas. He went through the mill with his divorce, had a messy divorce. Kids were growing up. He had his house. He went out. He was going out there regular on holiday. He'd been going out there for maybe a year. You know, he'd done lots of trips, and, well, not lots, but a few trips. And he met this girl in a shopping mall, Mike's shopping mall on the seafront. It's getting dated now, but that's what it's called, Mike's shopping mall. And she was in the middle selling. She had a stall that she didn't own it, but he met this girl, and he thought, nice girl. She works in a shopping mall, but she was, you know, she part-time. Probably the job was part-time and the other one was full-time. And he was convinced that she was, okay. And without getting into all the detail, I'll cut it short because it will get boring otherwise. But what happened, they became a couple. He went back to the UK, was sending her money, and she was a great liar. And in the end, it was kind of convenient. He sold his house because they were going to come back to Pattaya, open a beer bar, just what Pattaya needs, another beer bar. But anyway, they were going to open this beer bar. They'd found a premises. It was on Soy, God, it could have been Soy 6 in the early days. I can't remember, but it is in that video. And so Thomas, for whatever reason, he had to send the money. He didn't have to, but he sent the money to her account because he just figured that, I can't remember the reason, but he sent the money to her account. And the bar was open. The bar did open. It's not like she ran away with his money. They found, it was in Jumpty, in one of them side streets. They found like a townhouse. So downstairs there was a bar, and upstairs there were 4 rooms. They lived in 1 room. They rented out 3 rooms. And there was kind of a restaurant bar downstairs. He went back to the UK to finalize things. Well, what he didn't know is this girl, Thomas's girlfriend, the love of his life, she actually had a Thai boyfriend. And when he was back in the UK, the Thai boyfriend came down. And she said it was his brother because he kept coming down, hanging around, and she was saying to Thomas, "It's my brother," and he didn't see anything suspicious, but it was actually a boyfriend, a husband, whatever. And when he come back from the UK, he'd put the idea in this girl's head. I forget her name now, but he said, "Look, we don't need this guy, Thomas. We've got this place. Your name's on the building. The money's coming to your account. He can't do anything." And in the end, when he came back, a few of his mates, his friends were waiting there. And they basically said to him, "Look, if you don't clear off, we're going to give you a kicking." And that was it. And he didn't have no money left. Everything he'd had, he'd put into this place. And unfortunately, he went and booked into a hotel on the beach road, down a bottle of whiskey or half bottle of whiskey. And he jumped off a balcony. And, unfortunately, it does happen to people. And, when you get to sort of 60, 65, you get ripped off of every penny you've got, all your assets. You've got nothing left in the UK or where you come from. You're not old enough. You're not young enough to think, well, I'll dust myself off. I'll get back. I'll go back to the UK and I'll start again. You just, I mean, it's let's change the subject. It's very depressing. All right, let's see who else is here. Okay, we're going to call this the the buzzing Thailand-bound stream. Right, hang on. Right. Eugene Vincent, no itchy nose this week. I just scratched it. Right, Adrian Bates, how do I do a super chat? I don't know. I've never super chatted myself. I think it's at the bottom there. See where you write your comments. There's a $sign there. You click that, and that will tell you what to do. Right. Right, Buzzing. I'm not going to keep calling you Buzzing Patty. I'll call you Trevor. That's your name. Right, Trevor, mate, you are spot on how long the videos take to produce hours of graph. I don't think people realise how long the videos take. The live streams are actually quite nice because all you've got to do is sit down in the camera, talk, and drink a couple of beers, and they're quite easy compared to the videos. But I told you those. When people send me stories, I don't just read them out from the emails they send me because I have to get rid of the slang. If an English guy writes in the, if he sends in a story and he says, "Oh, we had enough of it. We knocked it on the head and scarpered out of there." Well, if you're not, if you're, who's going to understand that? It's all slang, isn't it? So I have to change that. And then once all the spelling checks done and all the slang's taken out, anything that's a bit too risque for YouTube, I then have to retype it up in blocks. So as I'm reading it, it's not one big long paragraph. I can go from block to block to block. It's easier. Then I have to read the whole thing as a rehearsal, which could be 35 minutes. Once that's done, I then have to record it, and then I have to watch it and edit it all out, then make a thumbnail, then the keywords, then all the background videos. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's not, Okay, ABC Dev. Hi, Peter. Thai baht seems to be weakening against it. Aha, you just reminded me of something. I haven't done the currencies yet. You're right. They are. All the currencies are up on the Thai baht this week. Not a huge amount. They're up a few satang, but they are up. But the pound's getting good, When I was there last October, I gave her two £50 notes to change with, and it's a good change with. I got 3,600 baht. Can you imagine 3,600 baht? And now for a UK pound, I just checked it today before I came on live. It's 43 baht and 57 satang. So that's not bad. It might get to 50. Who knows? Fingers and toes crossed. For the US dollar, you'll get 31 and 40 satang. Canadian dollars 25.18, the Australian dollars 24.34, and the euros 37.99. So yeah, the Thai baht is slipping. It really is. So that's good. And I did read there's a website called I don't get any news from him anymore because he's got a funny virus, not virus, Bangkok Jack. I don't know if you've heard about him on his mailing list. And there's a story in there today about, you know, the 90-day report. If you're on a retirement visa, every 90 days you've got to go to the police station, take your passport and get a stamp. And there's a story on there today that you can do it online now. So in other words, you don't need to, you know, go and queue up and all the rest of it. You just fill it in online and it's done. I don't know if that's a temporary thing because of what's going on at the moment, or it's something they've introduced on a permanent basis. But when I try to get into his site now, I keep getting Google bring up this red warning sign, unsafe site. And I actually wrote to him and I said, look, mate, I subscribe to your newsletters. I like read them. I get them one every day. I can't look at the. I said to him in the message, I said, I can't look at your channel. I'm getting this, and I know what it is. It's because his website is HTTP www, and now on Google you have to be HTTPS, and the S is for secure. If you look at my website, Thailand-Bound, it's that wasn't a plug. I just honestly, it's HTTPS//www. And if you're not, Google just won't show your website there. I tried to get around it and say, yeah, I trust this site, but I couldn't look at it. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. Highway Star, I'm hoping to get back to Thailand before I die. Oh, come on. I'm 56 now. You never know, but I think 2024 will be time. You're only 54, you're 56. You're a blind. I was 61 last week and I feel good. You know, I mean, come on. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. Don't worry about it. Hang on. What does the rest of it say? Will be not seen my wife now for 15 months. So, okay, that begs the question. If you've got a wife in Thailand, why do you work here and you kind of go there and visit her sometimes if she's your wife? Or what, I mean, why wouldn't you just do the quarantine? And then I know it's a pain in the butt, but once you've done it, then you can be with your family. There must be a reason. I'm guessing it's too easy, isn't it? Right. Paul, a bit like your guns, hours of practice for no reward yet. I've got to skip through some of these because you're sort of having private conversations. And Trev, look, Trevor, I'm not worried about sort of people talking to you and you talking back, because it used to happen to me on Edward Sweeney's channel. In fact, I got paranoid about it. I thought, blimey, Ed's thinking I'm going to take over his channel. It wasn't. People who watch his channel watch my channel. So when I left a comment on his channel, people would come and say, hi, Peter, how are you? And, you know, we'd have these conversations and I got a bit paranoid about it. So really, I'm not, you know, and I do mention lots of YouTubers. If it's your first time, you won't have heard it, but Simon and I were going to do a review of 30 channels, and I think you are in there somewhere. Let me just have a look, because we've got them listed out. Let me have a look on my Google Drive that I share with Simon. Right, it's one of these. Let me have a quick look. Nope, not that one. I won't spend too long looking for it. No. Okay. All right. I'm not going to... I thought it'd be a bit easier to find. Let me just try one more. Yeah, okay, right. We've got 32 here, but we're going to add more to it. So at the moment, these are the YouTube channels that we're going to... Simon and I, we're going to do 10 every week. So the first 10 are going to be the... Is it a holistic trainer? Then CB Media, Retired Working for You, Johnny There's Something Happening, Bangkok Pat, Buzz and Patia, Esquire in Asia, Ride for Kicks, Ed Sweeney, and the Tiger. So they're the first 10. We're going to review them, and we're going to just talk about them and let you guys talk with us about them and see what you think of them. We're not going to say anything bad about them. If we don't like them, we just won't review them. But they're all different. You know, like Trevor, he's in Patia. He's your man in Patia, isn't he? Johnny's your man in Hua Hin. So, you know, we'll talk about all this. And then the second lot, we're doing Thailand Thirsty, Mark Wines, Pandora. I know, I heard half of these. Kaki, is it? Chocolate Man in Patia, Retire Cheap. That's Jay. He's got a good channel. I like his channel. JC, Retire Cheap. 20 Seconds in Thailand, Walking in Bangkok, Land of Smiles, Dan About Thailand, Foreigner Joe. That's the second lot. And then the third lot for the moment, we're going to add to this list. So we'll do it in 3 different videos or live streams. So we'll do 21 will be Brett Dev, then No Time to Be Sad, Bangkok 112, who hasn't uploaded a video for over a year. Thailand Living, 20 Seconds in Thailand, Our Life Thai, Eat Sleep Bangkok, Darren B3, Joe Bruner, is it? It's Me, Sai, Jeff Carter, and Do More Life. That's Jeremy. So that's the, we're going to review every single one of those, those YouTubes. I didn't realize there was so many Thai YouTubers. And if you just joined us into the stream, I just wanted to say once again, I haven't seen it, but somebody's told me that there's somebody's kind of impersonating me on a Twitter page, and they're writing loads of stuff about, you know, like this guy's pretending to be me, but he's talking lots of shit about bar girls and escort services in the UK. And as you know, my wife's Korean. I'm not going to be talking about escort services in the UK. I'd love to have a, no, I don't want to look at it. He's, you know, he ain't got a life, has he? He's probably sitting in a room in Pattaya with, you know, he probably hates the tourists because they can afford to go there and enjoy themselves. He's probably really bitter, and he probably spends his whole day leaving comments on Facebook, Twitter, and the Thai Vs. I don't want to read what he's written. Bollocks to him. Right, Paul Hoskin. How much is a small bottle of Hong Kong whiskey now? God, I don't know. I don't drink this stuff. I think I did when I first got to Thailand. I drank some of that, and I think one of my fillings came out of the back. Right, Damon. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Black Bolt. You always seem to come in late for some reason, but at least you're here. Right. The Thomas story was a tough one. Okay, you remember that one? Yeah. He was a friend of mine actually. It was. I don't know if you noticed at the end. I was nearly in tears telling the bloody story. Talk about a girl's blouse. Right. See, how do you pronounce that? Cover. I'm just going to say Mike. Did anyone join EP Everything Pattaya lineup last weekend? Tuned into Mayhem Puro Daz. Another one I've not heard of. Fran Rush. Favorite bar in Walking Street? Skyfall. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Nick Frankel. They should really look into improving water buffalo healthcare in Thailand since they seem to be sick so often. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, these I think I mentioned before, all these flashy go-go bars that you get down Walking Street, like that one you've just mentioned. What was it, Sky something or other? You got another one called the, is it the Skyfall? That's it. You got the, is it the Chrome bar or the Metal bar or something? Yeah, there are millions of bahts spent on them. It never used to be like that. In fact, there was no go-go bars on Walking Street when I first got there. They were off that Small Soy where they had the Carousel and a few others there. It's a lot of money's been pumped into there now. They didn't have any Hooters, that's for sure. I read that the Hard Rock Cafe in CM Square, that's closing down after 30 years. It's not closing down because of what's going on at the moment or anything. They're opening another one. It's just that it's been there 30 years and they just feel like they want to do something different. This is a good situation right now to do it. And so they've decided to close it. It might be closed now, actually. A little bit of an old story there. Hi, Lou Bartlett. Hi to you. Tom in Thailand. Hey, first time watch one of these live streams. Always catch the recordings. Okay. So I guess you're in a part of the world where there's a big time difference with the UK. Right. Let's. I did remember. I said I couldn't get many stories today, but I did get this one, and I've changed because you know YouTube don't like us mentioning the real words for what's going on at the moment. But this is typical. Typical. This is the sort of thing that winds some people up. I'm used to it now. It doesn't wind me up. I just like, well, what can you expect, right? So the title of this story is Phuket officials stick to their dual pricing Cyrus test prices. Right. Following a few days of negative publicity over its dual pricing policies for rapid Cyrus testing for passengers at the airport or at checkpoints for people coming by road, you would have thought there'd been some misunderstanding, noises coming out of City Hall. But no, in fact, Phuket officials are doubling down on the controversy that sees foreigners charge 500 baht for a rapid test, even if they have a work permit and pay into local health insurance, if they have to get a Cyrus test when they arrive. So much for the rapid test. People are complaining it takes up to 90 minutes. For the Thais, the charge is nothing. It's zero. They get it for free. Foreigners get charged 500 baht. And it goes on to say the charge is 500 baht. earlier, the local government said that everyone would be charged 300 baht for this test when they come in. Everybody, Thais and foreigners. But some public servant had a very cunning plan and changed the policies to all Thais are free and foreigners pay 500 baht. So, I mean, that's kind of typical, isn't it? It's not, you know, it doesn't upset me because things like that used to upset me. But that's one of them kind of articles. You'll go into a bar in Pattaya and there'll be a couple of guys like putting the worlds to right after reading that. What do you guys think about it? Okay, so hi if you just joined us. Popcorn stories should be sponsored by Prozac. Yeah. Somebody wrote to me once. He said, "How do you know these stories are all true?" I don't really. I mean, I dare say the odd one slips through, but would you know they're really detailed, and you just get a feel for it after you've been telling them for editing them and telling them. You get. I think I've had one where I've read it and I thought, nah, that's rubbish. Well, some guy told a story and he said I went into it was Soy Cowboy. He went into a bar and he met this go-go bar girl, but she was actually a secret millionaire and she just wanted to get a job there to see what it was like. And he bar finally ended up marrying and she had so many millions of US dollars. And I thought, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen when you walk down Soy Cowboy. That's the only one I know of. Right, hedge fund. I know a guy who sent his Thai girlfriend. Really? 200. Let's put that up on the screen. Let everybody have a look at that. So I know a guy who sent his Thai girlfriend 200,000 to invest in a boutique hotel. Suffice to say, he is now back in the UK living with his parents. Dear, oh dear. I mean, like I said in those stories today, let me just move that. That's it. Like I said in the stories today, I mean, the thing is sometimes like when I read these stories out, people will say, oh, that guy was an idiot. What a sucker. How could he got pulled in? But I don't, when I defend them, people are like, oh, he was a fool. Why are you defending him? But unless you've been there, a lot of people who leave these comments have never been to Thailand. And we've all been scammed, all of us. It doesn't matter. It could be something small. Like even when I got there, I mean, I got ripped off on tuk-tuks. I got an extra bill put in the pot. I probably paid too much for certain things. But you learn, don't you? You learn. And, it's the same that happens with these guys. The only problem with these guys is they don't know what's going on. These girls are really good at what they do, guys. They got lots of notches on their belts, lots of victims behind them, and they're cute and they push the right buttons, they pull the right levers, they know what to say. And if these guys aren't used to it, you know what I'm on about. Okay, Alex, the euro is back to where it was a few years ago, but what about the pound? When I first got to Thailand, it was nearly 80 baht, 79 baht to the pound. Okay. Someone's talking about bitcoins. I also read bitcoins are down 15%. I don't know the figure, but someone like me doesn't own bitcoins, so it doesn't really bother me. Right, Damon, probably get 85 to the pound this year because we can't get there. Yeah, and then and then when we can get there, then it'll go back down to 36. I wish it was all over, Damon, because I want to come and visit you in Buriram. After seeing your it's not your partner. After seeing your partner's brother with that bloody great snake up there, who's in Singapore? I wear now Singapore better. Hedge fund. Aware now. The bizarre thing is that the bloke was a bar manager in Pattaya, not a newbie. Okay. How many baht to the pound? You've just come into the stream because I did mention it's 43 baht and 57 satang. Right, Larry Francie, what is your link for Wednesday? Oh, well, it's on this channel, but we haven't advertised it yet because we're still. What it is, Simon's quite good technically, and he did. Do you remember the one we did where we didn't plan it? It looked like we were in a pub, and he's working on some more backgrounds like that because it's just a plain screen here, isn't it? And he's working on some stuff like that. So I think we'll probably advertise it on Monday or Tuesday. You'll get a notification. Let's have a look. Okay. Alan Brian's, is it even in Peter? Can't wait for the Thai baht to go back to 77 to the pound, like it was around. Yeah. The thing is, it's all supply and demand, isn't it? And I was reading that before all this happened, the government backed the Thai baht, and Thailand had the fifth. I'll say this right now. They were the fifth biggest country that had foreign currency tied up in banks, because other countries would put the money in Thailand just to hold it because it's safe. It was backed by the government, and obviously it's a supply and demand. The more people who want the baht, then obviously the less you're going to get for your pound. At the moment, because of what's going on there and the no trade with China and everything that's going on, it's that's why we're getting better rates. But like Damon said, it's not doing us any good because we can't get there. Right, V. Tiger rules Big Pete. Yeah. Right. Do you know what? What's the time? How long we've been on? 243 in the stream now. Welcome to everybody if you just got here. I think it's time we cracked open the Kronenbergs. What? We do this every week, and I hope you've got something there. Let me know what you're drinking. I had to laugh at Damon Simmons. He doesn't drink. He said he hadn't had a drink for a year. He sent me a photograph holding a can and a can of 7-Up, because as you know, I don't drink it straight, the lager. I have a little, I call it a lager top. I have a little bit of 7-Up on the top, and Damon actually bought he doesn't drink as a rule, but he bought one, and he bought a little can of 7-Up, and he said it was quite nice. What's everyone else drinking out there? Let this settle down before I put the invisible 7-Up bottle on it. I don't think I'm going to be going so long today, guys. It's normally about 2 hours, but I've got my youngest daughter's at Birmingham University. I've got to go and pick her up in the morning. It's only about an hour from where I am, but she's got a job here weekends now, and she's got to go and see her manager. So I've got to go and pick her up in the morning. So I might have said this last week and the week before, didn't I? And it went over 2 hours. Let's see what happens. Right, I aware now. MBK Singapore was the best, now closed. Okay. Shinner, good travel mate, does some good vids here. Okay, you talk about another YouTuber. Taxi Dial used to go to Hard Rock and CM Square. Some good times there. Yeah. Also, they used to, the nightclub in the Novotel. It used to be called Vibrations. That wasn't bad. And then they revamped it, they refurbished it, and it was called I can't remember what it's called. I was working in Khon Kaen at the time. I was up there for 2 years. I can't remember what they called. It was Vibrations, and I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. Look, Dave Andrew. The Tiger is good information for foreigners. So these stories that I read out to you, like every week I'll get a few snippets of story. Obviously, I try and stay away from politics and anything to do with the royal family because I want to go back to Thailand. I'm not. But you can go and read all these stories. I haven't got some secret news source that slips them to me every Saturday night. I mean, they're just regular websites. But what I do on a Saturday afternoon, I spend an hour or so just going through each one of them because it is time consuming, and I like the quirky stories, like we spoke about the Thai Jack the Ripper 2 weeks ago, and what else, stuff like that, and some of these stories. What we got, Koh Samui. I'm going to read you one later about Koh Samui, rated one of the best islands. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm going off the subject here. You can go and find all these stories out there, but I just collect a few of them because I just, like Ed said, I don't want to talk about the same thing every week. But what I'm going to talk about now is topping up this lager with this bottle, this invisible 7-Up bottle. See, so nobody's told me what they're drinking yet. Oh, Mark Hanley's on the Kronenberg, Hard Tulip. Charles Badula, drinking 1 litre, half decent Italian plonk. Okay, I'm not really a wine drinker myself because what I find is I drink it like beer and I get drunk very, very quick. You're supposed to sip wine, aren't you? I drink it like I'm drinking beer. A little glass like that, what's that going to do? And I like Kronenberg. It's 5%. Right, that's good. Ed was drinking some weird beer the other night. He was on the Kronenberg, and he was drinking something from Aldi. It was some weird name, 4.5%, but it cost him, I think it was $2.99 or something. Right, H5PJH. Evening, Peter. That story you told about the guy who bought a bar with his girlfriend, ended up losing everything as her boyfriend took it all. Yeah, that story you told about the guy who bought the bar. Yeah, that's it. His name was Thomas, and the bar was in Jomtien. Greg, what are you on? No, you didn't say. Just cheers. Right, Nick, cracking an IPA. Yeah, that people like that, the IPA. I've never actually tried it. Mark Hanley, you're on the Fosters. Dave Andrews on the Singer, keeping it real for Thailand. Anthony James is on the Guinness. Chad Roder, I had a screwdriver with lunch. All right. Alan, you're on the Cronenberg, yeah. Highway Star, John Smith's. Hard Tulip, Scottish single malt. Well, as I keep showing you, a Scottish malt. This is Tesco's, but it's not bad actually. I'll drink a little bit of that. It's actually not bad. It says 3 years. I'll probably drink. I won't drink much because I'm going up to Birmingham in the morning. But yeah, cheers to you then. Anyway, yeah, the invisible bottle's back. Newcastle Brown Ale. Yeah, that's not bad. I can only drink one of them. I find that very heavy. The first one is nice, and then if you try to have a second or third one, I just. Okay, Guideline 7. Okay, that's a beer Ed. I'm going to put it up on screen because I can't pronounce that. That's what Ed was drinking. He bought it from Lidl or Aldi or something. I think they paid him to take it out. Yeah, that's it. I mean, something tells me that's a German beer. What do you reckon? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I used to drink Alexander, drinking tea like a boss. Arnie's on the Black Label. Sebastian, you're on the. Is it Polish lager? I think it. Yeah, it is from Poland. Yeah. Nicholas Fletcher, Peter, is that a cocktail? No, it's a lager top. Proper 12 whiskey. Fran, Gary Russell, Adrian Bates, San Miguel. That's San Miguel. Which country is that from? That's Philippines, isn't it? Yeah. Budweiser. We all know where that comes from. Right. Okay. Greg, 2 p.m. West Coast, US, not drinking yet. No, and yeah, good on you, because I don't drink in the daytime at all. When I lived in Thailand, I've mentioned this lots of times, it was a golden rule of mine. Even if I felt like a beer or I was out with people who had beers, I just wouldn't touch it in the daytime because I was always fearful of becoming an alcoholic. So I just didn't touch it in the daytime, ever. Tilt, really? Baby Sham? Do they still make that? Chris Full. I'm drinking some sodas. I need to watch the calories. Do you know, it's funny you should say that. I started a diet on Tuesday. Yeah, started a diet. Look, cheers. No, I did. I put on so much weight during these lockdown. If you look at some of my older videos, face is half the size. But yeah, I do. I don't drink every night now. But the thing is, I was eating what I wanted to. You know, I was eating pizzas, fish and chips, and I just ate until I was like a billy goat. I couldn't get any more in. But I've been really good this week. I've had salads and porridge sometimes in the evening. Lunchtime, maybe a banana and an apple about 3 o'clock. It's hardcore, guys. I mean, you can't. There's no easy. If it was easy, there'd be no fat people in the world. It is hard. The last time I did it, I lost 10 kilos, but I'm 112 kilos now, and that is just, that's out of order really for me. I mean, I should be. My ideal weight. I've never been this, but my ideal weight is about 85. 85. Can you imagine? I'll be thinner than this 7-Up bottle. But generally, if I can get, I like to be around 90. But up until sort of last year, I've always been kind of 100, which was a little bit heavy, but it wasn't too bad. But 112, I've got bad knees now. My back aches. I'm like an old man, So I've got to get this weight off. I just, it's ridiculous. Okay, 224 in the stream now. Welcome to everyone who's just joined us. Dino, you're on a gin and tonic. Paul Hoskin, but I said no and stopped ringing me. Oh, what's that about? That must be a private message. Yeah, there's lots of private messages going on here. Hi, Keith. Keith Morris, evening all, late on parade today. Oh, you're not too late. We had a guy come in last week. I just said, right, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up now, guys, and thanks very much. And then some guy came in and said, oh, I've just joined the stream. Good evening. Yeah. Yeah. Dirty Barry. Good diet and exercise. Well, I got a beagle, Benji the beagle, and I walk him sort of like 2-3 miles a day. When you do something like YouTube, I spend a lot of time on YouTube on the PC, and I'm sitting here, and it used to be a case of like, oh God, I got to walk the dog. But you know, when you've been sat on a computer for sort of 7 hours, and you go out into the fresh air and walk through the woods, you know, I've got a woods behind my house, and you take the dog out. It's really nice. It's really nice. So I do get exercise. David, how tall are you? Yeah, a lot of people think I'm really short. I don't know why. It's because I've got a big monitor, you see, and if I put the camera, I've got to have this gap above me as you see the monitor. I'm actually 6'1", so I'm not small. Yeah, you did mention that last week, Damon. You're 111 kilos, so yeah, we're about the same. Paul Hoskin, I only drink to be sociable. Paul, my first alcoholic drink was Baby Sham at my uncle's wedding. I was only 6. Who remembers Baby Sham? Do they still make Baby Sham? It was like the poor woman's champagne, wasn't it? All right. Yeah, Till, I enjoyed the Grafton Underwood video, USA AF. I was quite surprised at that, really. I thought I spent a lot of time on that video. It was kind of like a little hobby for me. And when I put up a love stories video, love stories, that's the worst thing you can call them. Let's say relationship video. Usually by the end of that day, if I put it up Saturday morning, by the end of the day, I've probably got anywhere between 1,200 and 1,500 watches. After a week, it will have 5,000 plus 6,000. After a few weeks, it will go up to sort of 8,000, 9,000. But this one, it's been up now for a week and it's got less than 1,000. So what I did, I posted it to a lot of Facebook. Well, Simon did it for me. He posted to about 8 Facebook Second World War groups, you know. So I'm hoping that maybe people will watch that and think, oh, what's this channel about? And, you know, they're watching a video about a disused airfield. Then all of a sudden you've got somebody talking about bar girls, but you never know. Diligent Glab, slim down to 159 kg, need to lose some more. Yeah, I think, you know what, I think everybody's put on weight during this lockdown. I know it's coming to end now for us in the UK, or hopefully anyway, fingers and toes crossed. But it's just there, isn't it? My wife, she's, you know, she's got that Asian mentality. If she won't buy, like, if she wants to buy some biscuits, she won't buy 1 packet of biscuits. She'll buy like 10 packets just in case, you know. And it's just laying around, and you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, if you notice a weight loss over the next few weeks, let me know. That might sort of inspire me. Yeah, I mean, the messages I'm getting, all these comments here, you're all sort of saying you're heavy. Mark, I keep calling my Thai girlfriend and she's not opening the phone. Only wanted to check that she received the 50,000 baht I sent her through Western Union. Better have another Foster's. Yeah. Adrian Bates, Pete, is it worth hiring a Honda Click and are they safe? Well, the motorbike's safe. It's the people driving them and the cars that are coming at you the other way. As a rule, it depends where you are, to be honest with you. If you're in Pattaya, generally, you don't really need a bike. If you've gone in there on a holiday and you're hanging around sort of Walker Street and anywhere from, you know, Soy 6 Soy 1 all the way up to Walker Street and the second road up to the Dolphin Roundabout and stuff, even beyond into Naklua, you don't really need a bike because you know, there's BART buses everywhere, and then when you drop off, you know, you've got those little motorbike stations, haven't you? So if you go into Naklua, which is North Pattaya, and you drop off, if there's not you know, wherever there's a 7-Eleven, there's going to be a gang of motorcycle taxis, isn't there? So somewhere like Pattaya, I'd say no. Somewhere like Hua Hin, like where I like to go to, I'd say yes, definitely. But I would say definitely stay off the highway. They're only dangerous. You should, you know, I mean, drinking and driving is really serious in Thailand now, especially if you're a foreigner, because you're giving people, I'm not going to be too detailed, but you're giving people an excuse to extract money out of you, aren't you? So you shouldn't really drink and drive for that reason. And it's dangerous, of course. But I like to hire a Honda Click. I get one for about 150 baht a day. It's a very good one in Hua Hin, good condition. But what I would strongly say is never, ever, and I do mean never, give them the original the passport. A lot of them in Pattaya, they want to hold your passport. And the reason I say that is not because I think they're going to steal your passport and sell it, but they've got you over a barrel then. So what happens? You come back with this Honda Click that's got scratches underneath or something's buckled on a little bit here or there, and you never noticed it. You go for a ride, you haven't done any damage. You come back and they say, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't there. That's going to cost us 3,000 baht to fix, 80 quid, £80 or $100. And you say, yeah, but it was already there. And they say, no, it wasn't. Well, we want that money to fix it. Oh, we don't give you your passport back. What are you going to do? You're not going to say, keep my passport, are you? So what I tend to do, I photocopy it and I'll give them a paper and I'll show them the passport, but I won't give them a passport. Same with anything, I mean, it's, they don't need your passport. Or even a driving license, I mean, you could leave your driving license because you can say you've lost it when you get back and get another one, but I wouldn't even leave my driving license. Right, where are we? Right, Roy God, stop eating biscuits. Try to eat fresh fruit and veg and nuts. And yeah, I don't eat biscuits as a rule. And what I started to do, if you go to B&M, they sell these biscuits. They're in a kind of white and light blue box, and they're actually sugar-free. And you get used to them. They're not bad, actually. When you first eat them, it's a bit like eating cardboard. But if you don't eat any real biscuits, they do digestives and they become like okay, but they're still carbohydrates, isn't it? So you can't eat too many. Right, let me see what I've missed. Taxi to Lao. When you go back to Thailand, how long do you manage to stay? One, it depends how much money I've got, and it depends how long I've got. I work, I still work. I'm self-employed. I'm sort of semi-retired, but generally, as a rule, these days, anywhere from sort of 2 weeks to 3 weeks. I've been known to go for a week. I've actually, because I couldn't get the time off, but I wanted to go to Thailand. I've actually flown out on a Sunday night and flown back on a Monday morning, and people say to me, for a week, it's not worth it. It is worth it, believe me, if you can't get there anyway. But generally 2 to 3 weeks now. Right. Right, Greg, I lost weight cooking at home, more 180 pounds down to 166. Oh, well done for that. Dave Andrew, I remember when 11 years ago I drank the drinks of all my family when they ate dinner at Christmas in another room. I think we've all been there. Now, at this point in the evening, it gets kind of difficult for me to read these comments because at the beginning, you're all sort of leaving comments for me to read out, but now you're sort of having all these little private conversations going on. I've got to find the ones that actually I can read out. Right, Jamie J, I've got a tasty story to send you. Is it via email or on your website? Well, you can send it by email. I'll show you where to send it. Bear with me. While we're waiting for that to come up, Paul, if you're still there, if you got it, a big hi to you, mate. Paul's he's a blind man and he likes to listen to this, but he wanted to leave some comments and he's got some fancy computer equipment that someone set up for him and he wanted me to say hi to him. I hope you're getting this, Paul. If you, at least you can hear it. I hope, I haven't seen any comments coming from you unless I'm not recognizing the names, Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. What am I trying to show you? Oh, there we go. Right. That'll come up. The other one's still going as well. No, there we are. So if you want to send a story, probably the best place to send it to is this one. Okay, is that long enough? I want to say there's another. There's a deaf man. He just reads. I got a blind guy and I got a deaf guy who reads. He just reads the comments. I think he lip reads, but let me just put one up for him because he. I'd like to say hi to him as well. Have I got? Get rid of that. Show that. Right. There we go. Yeah. So one's blind and one's deaf. They do kind of watch and listen. And I like to kind of say hi to them. It's. I don't need to explain why, do I? All right. Right, Mark. Pete, you've not had a swig of Kronenberg for 10 minutes. You're a lightweight. I have. I just had one. I don't drink. When I drink on the stream, I don't drink like I drink when I'm not on a stream because I don't want to get pissed on camera. You know what I mean? It's not very good, is it? Oh, Mark, dear, oh dear. I'm having a... Is that you? Who's having a Bailey's? Someone's having a Bailey's. Ah, there we are. ABC Dev, just having a Bailey's now with a bar of chocolates. Oh, my God. Neil, got to start my diet this lockdown, but I've lots on. Doesn't help that I'm now working from home. It's really hard, isn't it? Dave, yeah, we're on the lager tops. Okay, let's like I say, there isn't much news about at the moment. Let's see. Okay, right. This one's not so interesting, but I thought I'd just read it out. It said the title of this one is Koh Samui rated one of the world's best islands to retire to by International Living magazine. So sometimes I'll get messages and people will say, oh, you know, I'd like to retire to Thailand. I've never been. Where would you suggest? Or if I visit, where should I go first? And, you know, it's my personal choice, isn't it? But this is what was written today. It says the Tourism Authority of Thailand is pleased to announce that Koh Samui, one of the country's most popular tourist islands, was recently listed as one of the world's 15 best islands to retire to. International Living, a North American-based magazine for retirees, listed Koh Samui at number 10 among its 15 hand-picked islands scattered around the globe that make for an affordable retirement. These islands are where retirees can find privacy, peace, a simpler way of life, and strong communities. Thailand is regarded as a welcoming country for people to retire on a long-term basis, and retirees are eligible for visas at the relatively young age of 50. For more information, contact Thai embassies or consulates abroad. Well, good luck with that one at the moment. I don't think you'll get much answers. But I get a lot of people watch this live stream later because of time difference. You know, there's people asleep now who watch this when we're asleep. But, you know, hopefully that'll help them if they're, you know, if they want to. Why? Nicholas Fletcher, I can't show that, mate. They'll take my channel down. I haven't held it. YouTube have, but I was, you know, sometimes I'll show them. But yeah, okay, I get your point. I understand what you're saying, but it's just that. Sorry, let's show it. Let's show it. Let's be brave. I didn't write it, did I? I'm looking on that screen. I've got to find it on this screen to show it. Jack Mike, 7 a.m. in Sydney. Oh, because I haven't approved it. That's why. Let me go back and show it. Hang on. Right, show. Is it showing now? Talking about the people who write the magazine. P guy, did I pronounce that properly? Hello to you. I'll put that up then. There you go. Okay. Samui is affordable, yeah. David Andrew, Koh Penang is better, more children and better. Yeah, I noticed they didn't put Pattaya on the list for some reason. I wonder why. Well, what else is everyone saying? Right, hedge fund. Roy Christ knows how the Bolt taxi drivers can afford to live on that income. All right. Yeah, Alex, it's quite warming to see. A lot of people talking about starting diets. Right, Munya Kandudu, Thailand will be fully open in October. Get ready, guys. I don't want to disagree with you, but I don't think it will be fully open in October. Not at the moment. The way things are going, Irish Dave from Bangkok Diaries, he told me there's 3,000 new cases today or yesterday, and his exact words were things were not good. And there's a lot of towns and provinces in the red zone now. And what are we now? April? So you're talking May, June, July, August, September. 6 months. I can't see it myself. I think we're looking minimum March, April, if we're lucky. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Right, hard truth. I bet we're not allowed back until November, December, or January. Yeah. Okay, some people coming in late now. I don't really want to talk too much about the big Cyrus, as it were, because that's what everybody's talking about at the moment. I want to kind of move away from that. Talk about bar girls or Patty or something funny, you know. Well, let's not talk about that. Samui more dangerous than Pattaya. That's Jack Mack. Yeah, well, I went to Samui once years ago and I didn't like it. I found it kind of boring. It's probably changed a lot now. I went there, I think it was 92 or 93. And in those days, there were a lot of born again hippies. And what I mean by that is they were hippies when they were 18. They've grown up, they've got good jobs, they've got families, and they've gone back to Samui and they're being hippies again. But now they're 55 and they've got a kid on their shoulder. You know, it wasn't for me. ABC Def, watched a few videos about the Philippines this week. Angeles City looks a possible good destination. Yeah, we talked about the Philippines before. I've been there a couple of times briefly. I've got to be careful how I say things. I don't want to upset anybody. It wasn't for me. There's good and bad on for everything. Isn't the good point about the Philippines is most people, nearly everybody, speaks a pretty good level of English, so you can, you know, it's good in that way. I didn't take to the local food. It wasn't. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but it wasn't my sort of style, as it were. I mean, I didn't really find it too. I prefer the Thai food, put it that way. And I just found it very polluted. I just found the infrastructure was nowhere near as good as Thailand. You know, even Bangkok now. You know, you've got the underground, you've got the BTS SkyTrain. It's getting really. Before they had that SkyTrain, I mean, you won't believe how bad the traffic was. I had a car, and it used to take me to get from Soy 38 on Sukhumvit up to Soy 24 where I was living. And it's not, if there was nothing on the road, it'd be a 5-minute journey, but it'd take me like 45 minutes, 50 minutes during rush hour. But so yeah, Philippines. I've heard Vietnam's good, but then some people are writing to me and said, oh no, it's changed the government. I won't get into that, but right. Let me put that up. I'm not going to say that, but you kind of no, it's not that one. Hang on. We're thinking Tilt. We're thinking along the same ways, but I can't say that. But I'll leave that for you. I'll put that up for everyone to see. Here we go. Right. Highway Star. Thank you. I will. Right. Academic Traveller. Is it me or is Walking Street Patio really cringe? I think it's you, mate. No, I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? Adrian Bates, what does Filipino food consist of? Yeah, I don't want to say really. It's yeah, Mark Phillips, Hard Tulip, Mark Phillips, lots of guns there. Yeah, that's something that took me back but again, this is in the early 90s. We went into Makati used to be the kind of seedy area. But I remember when we were in town, a lot of legit nightclubs and bars, they had two like private security guards, one of each side of the front door. They had pump packs and shotguns, and I'm like, we're not in Beirut, are we? But apparently it's pretty normal there, robbery and stuff. Jack Mack, surprised you haven't been to Vietnam. I went to Cambodia and nearly got to Vietnam, but I'd like to go because I'm not a vegetarian, as I said last week, but I do like a lot of vegetarian food. And I've heard that the Vietnamese food, there's a lot of nice vegetarian food that they do. Okay. Well, it's like Filipino food bashing time. Lay off it now, guys. Right, Paul Hui. Mark Hamlin, I went to Manila years ago and it was well dodgy. Even the airport resembled a prison. Well, I do remember coming out the airport and I was kind of mobbed. It was just people who were trying to make a living. You know, there's so many of them waiting outside, and you come out with your bag and you're like, you know, yeah, they grab your bag. They're not stealing. They grab it because they want you to get in their taxi. And yeah, it is a bit overwhelming. But right, I think it's time for the second beer, guys, because I'm not going to have a long one tonight. How long we've been going now? Hour and 18. It'll be interesting to see how long Edward Sweeney doesn't do his. You know, he said he's going to leave it for a month, 2 months. It'll be interesting to see what he does do when he comes back. But I kind of, you know, if you watched Ed's stream on Wednesday, you know, I kind of know where he's coming from, because you know I probably do it as well, and you know he comes on, he'll do the same thing every week, and you feel kind of like almost guilty, like you're letting people down. You know, you're kind of doing the same thing, and you think, you know, I'm letting everyone down. I should come up with some new stuff. But if you're in the UK, what can you come up with? You know. Right, Till. When Pattaya Oh, it's gone. Hang on. Oh yeah, when past toy. God's sake, hang on, it's gone again. When past Troy Aras in Philippines, it was like an army outside the store. Apparently, lots of kids got kidnapped there. Okay. Alexander Dupont. Coming out of the airport, 5 ATMs, none of them had any cash in them. Welcome to the Philippines. Yeah. I mean, I remember, was it Ed Sweeney, you know, when he was out and about, when he was traveling, he went to the was it the Philippines or was it Cambodia? No, it was the Philippines. There was a video, he's got a video out and it's called Dodgy Go-Go Bars. And he went into a go-go bar and there were these girls and he said they weren't exactly dancing. They're on stage and they're kind of moving, like no interest whatsoever. And somebody got like a bowl of noodles and passed it to one of the girls. So she's on stage dancing. Someone passes her noodles and she's eating the noodles on stage when, you know, I mean, that wouldn't happen. That would not happen in Thailand. Right, Adrian Bates, Ed Sweeney's desperate to travel. I feel for him. Oh, not only him. I think we're all, you know, ready to go. Yeah, see, I mean, there is two sides to the coin. See, David Kiernan went to the Philippines first back in 2004. Great times, been there 5 times since. Yeah, I mean, I'm not judging the Philippines because I didn't really get I mean, I got to Manila and I went to Makati a couple of nights and I didn't see the Philippines properly. But, you know, they've got a lot of beautiful islands and the people are, you can't judge the Philippines by Manila, can you? It's like judging the whole of Thailand by Bangkok. I think you've got to get out there. And unfortunately, I didn't manage to get out there. And so I don't really have any experience of it other than a couple of nights in Makati that was closed down by the mayor, which isn't a good reference. David Andrew, Ed is great, but he misses Asia like all of us. Yeah, we all do. Roy Gold, Phil's is great for the girls. They all speak English and the island are beautiful. I'll tell you the place I went to where I didn't feel totally safe. Nothing happened to me, but I had a feeling. Old Sparky, Ed is like a fish out of water. He'll be back okay when things get back to normal. I think he'll be back before them. Dino does. Vietnam is very nice. You can be a dong millionaire. Okay. Mark Hanley, love Ed. Good lad for a Scouser. Yeah, he lives down south now, by the way. He's not in, people assume he's in Liverpool. He's not. What was I going to say? Let's get this lager top going and I'll tell you about it. It was Cambodia. I went to Cambodia and again, it was just visiting. I think I went 2 or 3 times. I didn't go to Siem Reap. I went to the capital. I won't try and pronounce it. But I don't know what it was. It wasn't that long ago. It's probably 6, 7 years ago. And I didn't feel totally safe. It just felt like anything could happen. You know, it's quite dark at night. It's not really well lit up like Thailand is. And a lot of the roads are just, and this is in the city, you know, dirt tracks. You know, they were like, you going along and they're like there's dust behind the car and stuff. And it wasn't really my sort of place. I just felt like I just felt like anything could happen. I didn't feel totally safe. And there were stories at the time of guys who were, you know, if they seen foreigners, they'd chase them to like pinch handbags off women or mug the, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's all made up. I don't know. Right, Greg, that was a funny video by Ed. Half dead girls eating dinner on set. I see you've seen it. It was called something like Strange Go-Go Bars. But yeah, eating noodles on stage. ABC Def. Live streams are a fantastic way for everyone to keep in touch and keep the dream alive of getting back to the land of smiles. Keep them going, Peter. Yeah, if you've just joined us, what I'd said at the beginning, because Simon and I are going to do a midweek one on a Wednesday now. So I'm going to cut these Saturday night ones down to every other week. Because like Ed said, you know, I mean, it's the same thing every week and I don't want them to get stale. And it's kind of, you know, when there's no stories out there to even print out and read to you. Right, why is that being held by? Let me just approve that. I don't know. YouTuber, sometimes like Damon Simmons, a lot of your comments get withheld from YouTube. I don't know why. They're I don't know if you mean blacklisted or something, but all the comments that do get listed, there's nothing wrong with them. Mark Hanley, you can be a kip billionaire in Laos. There's somewhere interesting. I've never been to Laos. What's Laos like? Any been there? Tell us about it, Mark. Okay. Poor Mark Hanley. I was a kit millionaire 50 times over, and I only had £10 in my pocket. Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Some countries you go to, it's like, you know, in Thailand you get 43 baht to the pound, and some of these countries it's like, you know, a couple of million to the pound, isn't it? In a wheelbarrow to buy a loaf of bread. D-Rock 7977. Hello, Peter and the guys in the chat. How you doing? Someone's on about poisoning the food. What, are you aware now? Okay. Mark lived there for 3 years. Okay. Alexander, you can be fined 5k USD. What for? Dave Andrew, I was a volunteer for VSO in Nepal for 5 years. Good country to visit, yeah. Michael, me and my friend Glenn is going to Manila and Pattaya round trip as soon as it's open. Well, I think you'll. I don't know what you like to do, but I think you'll find Pattaya a lot more fun. Right, Alex, Mark Hanley, do they still enforce the law about? Okay, you're talking to him. All right, guys. Hi, if you just joined us, 210 in the stream now. Big cheers to everyone. Roy Gold, now in Laos, is a great channel, very poor country, worth seeing if you like it. Do you know when Nick Franco, according to videos, Laos looks a very laid-back place. Yeah, I'm a bit sort of long in the tooth now. My age, I turned 61 2 weeks ago, and the thing is, I know Thailand. I speak a bit of Thai. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for them to rip me off now because I know what it's all about. I've been going there and lived there. And for me now to be a newbie in somewhere like Laos, I don't think I'd like it. And Vietnam, I mean, I should have done it when I was younger. You know, I visited Philippines, Cambodia, South Korea, obviously, where I met my wife. I've been to Hong Kong, Singapore, even Indonesia. Quite. There isn't many countries I haven't been to. I've never been to Japan. I would have liked to have visited Japan. And Laos, that's another one. And Vietnam. The one I really regret is Vietnam. I mean, I've watched videos by JC, retire now. Is it called Retire Now? But you know the guy I mean, JC, and he spent a lot of time in Vietnam with his girl, and it looks good, but it's too late now. Right, 33 Saints. Hello, I was just hoping I'd make your live chat. Good to be here. Good to see you. Yeah, good to have you here. But unfortunately tonight, as I mentioned at the beginning, I've got to go to Birmingham first thing in the morning to pick my daughter up from Birmingham University. So I don't think it's going to be quite 2 hours tonight. It's been an hour and a half. We'll see how it goes. A few more minutes yet. Right, Till, Manila is not a good holiday destination to go to the islands instead. Yeah. Okay. I aware now, Singapore, nice. I worked in Singapore for a year in Orchard Towers on Orchard Road. It's nice as far as, you know, everything's in its place and it's clean. They call it the Garden City. All the rules are there, but it was a little bit too. I like things to be a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, in Thailand, you go to a place, it's never the same twice, is it? And you know, Singapore, you know, if you've been there once, it's going to be exactly the same the second time. I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say by that, but I prefer Thailand's more laid-back way of doing things. Da Nang looks beautiful in Vietnam, yeah. Hi, Juan Carlos. Starting to set my sights in Central and South America. I would do the quarantine in Thailand, but if everything is sit down and you can travel between provinces easily, what's the point? Yeah, exactly. That's what I keep saying. You know, even if they let us go back, and you know, you're not allowed to move from province to province, and you know, it's just not worth it, is it? That's another place I've always wanted to visit. South America. I think Ed went there sometime, but I've always assumed, I might be wrong, but I've always assumed that it can be quite a dangerous place for a foreigner. But I might be totally wrong. But I would have liked to have gone there as well. Right, Craig, everyone I talk to says Vietnam is like what Thailand was 30 years ago. Okay. Dave Andrew, I went to Hanoi with Thai girlfriend 4 years ago. She hated it. I wonder why that was. I wonder why she'd hate it. I would have thought it's very similar to her culture and everything. The food. I know the Vietnamese food is very similar to the Thai food, but they don't. It's not as spicy. They use more kind of what's the word? The flavors are different. You know, they're not so sort of in your face. They're not. It's not all just about the spice. Right, Frau Rush, been to Cambodia loads of times, but only on a visa run. Yeah, okay. Nick Franco, went to Odessa, Ukraine last year. Beautiful place and beautiful people, but not easy to navigate, not speaking Ukraine or Russian. Yeah, I mean, there's people who go to Europe, isn't it? I mean, East Europe's opened up now, but it's never kind of appealed to me. I like the Asian. I wouldn't say I don't like the East Europeans, but it's for me, it's not. I like the whole culture, the whole difference of the culture in Southeast Asia. It's totally different to the West. And you go to East Europe, there's a lot of similarities, isn't there? And it's not something that sort of really, you know, it doesn't really appear to me. Right, Trev, Jesus, Singapore is expensive. Went there and was crazy prices. Lovely but expensive. Sentosa was sunny. Yeah, I mean, it was when I was there. Singapore was very expensive at that time. They, how can I say this in a roundabout way now? Orchard Towers, where I was working, is 4 floors, and it was 4 floors of you know, what they have on Walking Street, and you'll have to sort of read between the lines. But the thing about Singapore as well, when I was there, they used to call it a fine city because you got fined for absolutely everything. You know, there was a $500 fine for not flushing the toilet. You know, so you know how they'd catch you doing that, I don't know. But there's fines for everything. You know, throwing cigarette butts down, and it was just it was too, for me. Singapore was too organized. It was too proper. You know what I mean? When I first got to Thailand, I got to these little sleazy bars in Cowboy, and you'd walk in, it'd take you 30 seconds before you could see anything. You could smell it before you've seen it. You know, but okay, I'll move on from that one. I'm sure you know what I mean. Right, academic travel. Japan is a wonderful country. Okay, it's a great. Osaka is a great party place. I love that you can navigate by time because everything runs on schedule and it's safe. They are, you know, the Japanese. They're so time conscious and proper. Everything's done proper, isn't it? But yeah, I've heard it's very expensive. Where my wife comes from, she comes from a town called Busan. It used to be called Busan. In the Vietnam War, it was the only town the Chinese had run right all the way down to her city, and the Americans pushed them back. But the Korean, when I lived in Korea for about 10 months, I worked there. That's where I met her actually. And it's apparently the Korean and the Japanese culture is very similar. I suppose it's a bit like England and France, or France and Germany, something like that. It's quite similar. The food's similar and everything. Okay. Roy God, I'm 68 and still like to travel. Was in Madagascar 2 years ago. Now stuck in Thailand. Poor you. Hang on. Let me just reach for a tissue. I've got a violin. I can get stuck in Thailand. A lot of us wish we were stuck in Thailand. Line all that Davy. Bound, did you get that thing I sent you? That's a bit cryptic. What did you send me? Was it a story? Don't know. Can you be a little bit more specific? I mean, obviously you don't want to give the game away, but you put Bound, did you get that thing I sent you? I hope it wasn't something nasty. If it was a story, I'd have written back to you and said, thanks for sending it. I'll get round to it next week. If it was a contribution to the channel, I would have sent you a message saying thank you. So other than that, I don't really know what you mean. Taxi to Laos, Singapore. I couldn't stand it. Concrete jungle, expensive, hot and humid as hell. Well, I mean, when you think about it, Thailand's not exactly the Antarctic, is it? I mean, it's a little bit warm there as well. Christopher Doyle, Orchard Towers. Did you go to the 4 floors? Yeah, I don't know if you've come in late, Chris, but that's what we were just talking about. It's 4 floors of, let's just say, ladies of the night. That's a polite way. Alan, 1 night in Manila is like 1 night in Bangkok, but not quite as good. Okay. Plenty of comments coming out. Nicholas went to Paxi, is it, in Laos? Never saw another white person for a week. Loved it. Most friendly place ever. Charles Badula, go to Japan. It's not too late. It's wonderful. Go to the hot baths and enjoy the food and culture. You will not regret it. It is a special place. The 1 week rail pass is great. £300 go everywhere. Bloody hell, 300 quid. Right, academic traveller. Singapore is good for a couple of days on the way home. Can't beat £2 for a Michelin star meal. Cool. Where do you get that? My ex-Thai girlfriend hated Singapore too. Strange, that one, isn't it? Peter, have you ever been to South America like Brazil? No, that's what I was mentioning, Jeff. I would have, like I say, I'm a bit long in the tooth now, and I don't really want to start exploring new countries now. I lived in Pattaya for 3 years. I lived in Bangkok for a number of years. I used to travel down to Pattaya from Bangkok more than 100, maybe a couple of 100 times. Now I'm kind of a full-on tourist. So what I'll do, I'm semi-retired. When I get time off, I'll hit Thailand. If I go to Hua Hin, sometimes I might go for 6 weeks. All I do then is I'll get a month's tourist visa. If I want to stay another month, I go to Blueport Shopping Mall. At the time, it's probably changed now, but you just go in there. I think it was 1,900 baht, and they give you another month, so I could get up to 2 months. But I don't do really, long trips to Thailand anymore. Lion, I have no urge to go to Japan or China. China, yeah, I worked there as well. Beijing, obviously, worked in a place called Dalian, which is a seaport. Again, it wasn't for me. China wasn't for me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else, but it very much wasn't for me, if you can read between the lines. Okay. Roy Gold was in Colombia recently as well, lived there in the 80s. Yeah, I bet it was okay in the 80s. Nicholas, agree, Peter. Asian life is so good, yeah. Right, Mark Hanley, Sri Lanka is a place, was in Kandy for a couple of years. Again, another place I haven't been to. I worked in India for a year in Mumbai, which was Bombay back then. Never got to Sri Lanka. Back then, it was a little bit dangerous. You had them Tamil tigers, was it? A lot of people know those 4 floors at Orchard Towers by the look of this. Till, Czech Republic, stunning woman plus really cheap. Okay. Amsterdam, the whole world in one city. That's another place I haven't been to. But again, Amsterdam is not the sort of place. I haven't been there, but from what I've seen, it's not the sort of place that would appeal to me. It's Southeast Asia or nothing. And at my age now, it's got to be Thailand. Old Sparky, my Thai girlfriend only told me yesterday that her friend and her husband, who have lived in Singapore for a few years, are now bored with Singapore and will be moving to another country soon. Yeah. Orchard Towers is an expensive place. Lots of other places too. Yeah. Trevor, laugh out loud. The 4 floors of, yeah. So you know it as well. I actually worked on the 4th floor for a short time. I was in between jobs, and I ran a nightclub called Top 10, and it was on the 4th floor. Wasn't the best job I've ever had. Wasn't. Well, I just did. Right. I found America quite interesting, believe it or not. When I lived in Bangkok, when that movie came out, Casino, with Robert De Niro, me and a friend, we said, "Oh, let's go and have a visit, see what it's all about." And we went to Vegas. Actually, we went to California, and we rented a nice car, and we drove through the Death Valley 4 hours to Las Vegas, and it's amazing. You're driving through, and it's just desert, and then all of a sudden, in the distance, you see the the pyramid. Is it the Luxor? Very, very small, and as you're driving through the desert, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you're in Las Vegas. That was quite interesting. Liam Harding, even Disneyland is closed. Mickey Mouse is Donald Duck. That's quite creative what you come out with there. Yeah, Manya, I miss Soy Cowboy. It's a real deal. Mark Hanley, Pete, Busan near the sea. Yeah, you're right. It's equivalent to our Brighton. It's a coastal town. Very different now. When I met my Korean wife there, I was working in a hotel. She was working in reception. I think she was 19 at the time. I've been with her about 31 years now. In those days, the Korean culture was very put it this way, her parents weren't very happy that she got a white guy as a boyfriend. You know, it took a long time to work out, but everything's okay now. Right, Jeff, what is Orchard Towers like? Is it like Nana Plaza? No, not. It's nothing. No, nowhere is like Nana Plaza. No, it's just 4 floors, and you've got karaoke's and nightclubs, and it's kind of like there's an undercurrent in each one. You know, you go into a karaoke, but it's you know, it's a karaoke, but there's a lot of other stuff going on, if you know what I mean. And the same with the nightclubs, and a lot of Thai girls in Orchard Towers, believe it or not. A lot of Thais who go to Singapore to work in that business, they head for Orchard Town. They hang around outside. Lion, all that David Bound. Did you get the thing I sent you? Didn't you say that once already? No, I don't know. What did you send me? Okay. Right. Yeah, Till. I have seen it advertised. I haven't watched it. Last Train to Busan, because I'm not. I know my wife's Korean, but I'm not the biggest fan of all things Korean. So no, Lion, you're getting more cryptic. The more messages you send, the more cryptic. These nuts. I don't know, mate. I don't know what you're on about there. Hard Tulip. Is Orchard Towers a seedy place? That's like saying, is the Vatican a holy building or a holy place? Yeah, it's very seedy, or it was. I don't know what it's like now. Okay, Alex, I can't really read that one out, but yeah, I know where you're coming from. Geylang. Yeah, that's an area of Singapore, isn't it? Geylang, that rings a bell. Academic Traveller, Train to Busan is an excellent zombie film. Well, I can tell you, I would 100% hate it then, because I'm not into films like zombie films, horror films and stuff like that. It's not my sort of film. Roy God, Japan is not expensive if you stay in capsule hotels and cheaper restaurants. Yeah, I've seen those capsule hotels on documentaries and stuff. They look really comfortable. Gregory Egan, I wish I was stuck in Thailand, laugh out loud. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and traveling is so expensive here now because of all the hotels have boosted up the prices because nowhere else to travel. Yeah, but you know, you're lucky in a way. Australia, it's a continent, isn't it? I mean, you know, England is such a, even you take Scotland, Wales, England, it's such a small country. You know, I think we've got 68 million people in this country. It's probably more like 70 now. But you know, again, that's another place I would have liked to have visited, Australia. I know a lot of English. There's this thing, the English Australian connection, but from what I've seen about Australia, I think it's more closer to the US. You know, it just looks such a real nice country, Australia. And I like the laid back way of the Australians. I think with I mean, a good example for Australians, if they were to drink wine, they'd drink it just, I don't know how to explain it. If there's any snobbery brought into it, that's when they're not interested and they want to walk away. You know, in England, it's all like nose up and a cheeky little number this one. They're not into that. But on a serious side, I mean, the Gold Coast, all these, I don't know the name of them, but they've got all these beautiful beaches and, yeah, I mean, you're lucky you're stuck in Australia and not the UK. All we've got to look forward to is rain and you know, bad weather. But saying that, it's been nice today. Right, Stephen Horsley. Hi, Peter. Do you think the sandbox in Phuket will happen, or, in your opinion, do you think there will be a third lock? Okay, in my opinion, and that's all it is. It's a personal opinion. I think there will be a third lockdown because I don't think it's been handled properly the first and the second time. Again, a personal opinion. When I spoke to Simon, my internet partner, I don't like to say partner, it sounds like my boyfriend, but Simon, who lives in Bangkok, when I spoke to him probably 3-4 months ago, we were talking about lockdown in the UK, and he was like, well, it's all like back to normal here. You know, everybody, you go to restaurants, they're packed, you go out, they're packed. So they were kind of like, I suppose, turning a blind eye to it. It's kind of kicking them in the backside now, isn't it? No, I don't think any of this is going to happen. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I honestly think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I've kind of told myself that now. I'm resigned to not going this year again. You know, I think I've mentioned this a few times. When I started this channel in Hua Hin, then we got the first lockdown. I thought, oh shit, I've got a channel about Thailand. What am I going to do? You know, it's not called UK Bound, it's called Thailand Bound. I'm stuck in the UK, and I thought, well, it's going to be 3 months, and that's, you know, I did, you know, top 20 scams in Thailand, top things I love about Thailand, you know, everything I could think of. And then I thought, what else can I do? Then I did a few stories, and I thought it was going to be like 2 months, 3 months, and then I'd get back on the plane. I'd be, you know, your roving reporter in Thailand again. I can't believe it when I say this. It's actually, when I was in Thailand, it was October, not October just gone, but the October before. So we're talking, what we're now, October, November, December, January, February, March, 18 months ago. I can't believe I've managed to keep the channel going for 18 months, but unreal, unreal. But in answer to your question, no, I don't think it's going to happen this year. Right, Lion, did they really find a 12-foot skeleton in Krabi? I did read, I read another story about a guy was digging up his garden. He found 3 children and 2 adult skeletons. It wasn't nothing sinister. It was, you know, archaeology, you know, history, archaeology. Right, Arnie, I definitely prefer a traditional spit and sawdust type bar to those new ones that have bags of money spent on them. Yeah, we were talking about those bars on Walking Street, like the is it the Chrome Bar or the Steel Bars? Skyfall, you know, millions of baht spent on. The girls look lovely, don't they? They all wear the same uniform. Is it the aeroplane bar, something like that? They all wear these kind of, they all dress the same. They're very nice. You go in, it's really well done. A lot of nice lighting. Almost looks like a strip club in America. And yes, I did visit a strip club in America just to see what it was about. But yeah, I prefer the old kind of classic style of bars. Like if I go into Soy Cowboy, somewhere like, I mean, I do like the nice bars in Nana, but I still like places like After School in Soy Cowboy because it's a throwback to what it used to be. I mean, when I first went to Cowboy, the best bar in Bangkok, Goga Bar, believe it or not, was Longun. And you go into Longun now, it's just a smelly old place. There's nothing there, is there? But that used to be probably the best, well, certainly in Soy Cowboy. But you go in some of those smaller bars and, you know, you're rubbing your eyes and you can smell the carpet before you go in. But it might be nostalgia for me. I mean, maybe I'm just being an old, you know, typical old man who's remembering the good old days. So I'm sure younger people who go there would laugh at that and they prefer these, you know, these high-tech bars. All right. The thing that gets me is flipping 200 baht for a drink and 200 baht for a ladies' drink. And they're so clever now what they do. The lady, I think I've mentioned this before as well. The ladies' drinks, what they used to do when I first went there, this, you know, they wouldn't ask you for a drink. That's the first thing. They'd come up to you and wire you, very, very polite. And, you know, if they sat and talked to you, you'd offer them a drink. And they'd come back. It was quite laughable, really. They'd have a champagne glass with Coca-Cola or Pepsi in it. And they'd sit and talk nicely with you for 15, 20 minutes. And when the drink was finished, they wouldn't ask you. They'd look at the glass, they'd look at you and they'd smile. And you get the message. And if you were a tight ass and you didn't buy them another drink, they'd get up and they'd wire you. And they'd say, got to go and speak to a friend or go to the toilet. And that'd be it. But it was all done in a much nicer way back then. I mean, now they're so clever how they do it. Like, you know, their peers have taught them very, very well. You go into a bar and, you know, they'll either have a tequila because they can throw that down their throat in 2 seconds and they want another one. And if you don't buy them another one, then they're off. But they've had their money. Or the other thing they do is they'll order a short with a mix with a Red Bull and you think it's a drink. You know, you bought them a drink and she comes with a vodka Red Bull and you think, okay, she bought a drink. And that's 2 drinks, believe it or not. That's 400 baht. And a lot of guys get caught out like that. Another way that guys get caught out is I like the happy hours in, I've mentioned this before as well. I'll mention it again. There's a lot of guys get caught out by the happy hours, like in Tilak Bar that I like in Soy Cowboy. They do a good happy hour and you can get a pint of Heineken for 90 baht. And when it finishes at 10 o'clock, they'll hold a couple in for you. So if she'll come up to you and say, oh, happy hour's finishing, do you want another one? You say, I'll have 3, but keep 2 behind the bar. They will do that. And but what a lot of guys don't know is they think, oh, it's happy hour. This is great. A little girl comes up and talks to them, you know, can you buy me a drink? Yes, happy hour. Why not? I have 2 drinks. I have 3 drinks. Well, what happens is there's no happy hours on girls' drinks. So when you get your bar, when you've been drinking, you've had 3 beers, she's had 3, 4 ladies' drinks, you get your bill and you'll get a shot because, yeah, your beers are half price, but her drinks are full price. And she wouldn't have been ordering drinks that cost 110 baht. She'd have been ordering 200 baht vodkas or vodka Red Bulls at 400 baht a pop. So be very, very careful of that one. Yeah. I can't remember who said it to me once. There was a guy who was telling a story and he said, oh, I was as nervous as a a dog in a Chinese takeaway. Quite good. Adrian Bates, I love the 1942 war documentary. What you did was brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Adrian. I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get more viewings on that. Like I said, I put about 25 hours of work into that 30-minute video, and it's had less than 1,000. But then it's posted on the wrong place, isn't it? This is a channel about Thailand, and not not the Second World War. Right, Jamie D, does Australia float your boat? I wouldn't say it floats my boat, whatever that means. I just think it's. Look. I've met people from all over the world when I've been traveling. Generally, the Australians are laid back. They're nice people. They take you on face value. They don't have any agendas. And if you want to have the funniest thing I've ever seen with Australian people, you get a gang of Australian guys. Like I've been in bars in Nana, and you've got a rugby team or a football team or some kind of a team, a golfing. A load of blokes there, a load of guys there for golfing, and they're in somewhere like Longgun or one of these, pretty girls somewhere, I don't know. And the DJ puts down Men at Work Down Under. I come from a land down under. Oh, they go mad. They go absolutely mad. But I wouldn't say it floats my boat, but I admire Australia. I think it's a great country, and I don't think it's the worst place in the world to live. Right, people are still talking about Orchard Towers here. Kevin Burr, hello people. Yeah, you've taken on the persona of Kevin Thailand there. Right, Nicholas Fletcher, Paul Hoy, yes mate. Okay, that's a private conversation. Blimey, every single week I say I'm not going to do 2 hours tonight, guys. I'm not going to do 2 hours. I'm going to cut it short because I've got to do something, and it's 1 hour 51 minutes now. I'll do the 2 hours. It's another 9 minutes, and then I'll have to go. Right, Gregory Egan. Most people in Singapore tell me spend a week maximum there to see the main things, and then you don't have to return. Okay. I bet that's not the tourist board of Singapore telling you that. Nick Frankel. Vegas is too expensive and too many low-life locals and tourists alike. A lot of crime there. Yeah, Nick, I didn't see too much of that. Back then, I'd kind of finished my hotel career. I had a nice pot of money. I wasn't stupid. I didn't blow it, but I had quite a lot of money, and I still had income coming in from a business, and money wasn't really an issue. I had to watch it. I mean, I wasn't staying in the Amari Atrium and dining out 5-star restaurants every night, but I wasn't sort of hard up. Let's put it that way. And when I went to Vegas, I set my gambling limits back then, and I know what you're saying. There's two sides to Vegas. You've got the glamour and the hotels and the gambling. On the other side of the coin, you've got the depressed areas. There's crime, a lot of prostitution. People giving out these cards with girly numbers on them. But I had a good time in Vegas. But what amazed me was you just can't cross a road without going through a casino. They've got it all geared up. You come to the airport lined with slot machines in the airport, and when you want to cross a road, you go up a bridge, but the bridge actually goes through the casino and out the other side and out onto the road. But I had a good. I mean, it was only. I went twice, once for 10 days and once, I think, for 3 days. And we did a little tour. We flew from California to, what's that place called? New Orleans. This is obviously before all the floods and stuff. And yeah, good memories. It was a good time. Right. Hard Tulip, maximum security prison. Yeah, they got one of that. They got a Supermax in near Las Vegas. Where they, okay, let's not get into there. Cuba is amazing. Okay. Sanso Phuket rip-off prices. Yeah, it is expensive in Phuket. I found it to be one of the most expensive resorts in Thailand. I'm sure if you live there, there's deals to be had. There's bars that do happy hours and stuff. But yeah, generally speaking, it's a lot more expensive than Pattaya. Right, ABC Mexico. Would you consider as a possibility for fun? I don't know. I mean, I've heard it's dangerous, and I've heard it's at my age now, I don't want to go exploring new places. Right, there's a lovely lady on here called Georgina Titchener, and you just put LOL. So is that you? Let me put your picture up there, or is it a? We don't have many females watch this channel. I have got stats. And it tells me that about 5% of my viewing audience is female. So it's always nice to see a female join in the chat. Sometimes we get Francesca. She lives in Bangkok. She comes on sometimes, but of course it's very early in the morning there. Okay, a lot of people now saying Las Vegas is too expensive. So really enjoy your channel, always to the point, no BS. Thanks, Sol. Yeah. I think it's always a compliment when another YouTuber comes to your channel, isn't it? Like I'll go and watch Trevor. Trevor's been on mine tonight, and you know, sometimes I'll get Dave, the Irish guy, Bangkok Diaries, Thailand. He'll come on, and Pat's come on, and I've watched Pat's and recommended Pat's, and it's not. I'm not one of those guys who won't mention another YouTuber because I'm scared my audience will run off to them. It doesn't work like that. But you know, if people come to you, then you know you're doing something right. So it's always kind of like a compliment. It's always nice to see another YouTuber come to your channel. Hard tulip, 5%. Right, I presume that's you're having a private conversation with her. Okay, texted. Okay, you're having a private one as well. Right, we're nearly there. 1:55. I'll do another 5 minutes, and then that'll have to be it, guys. So if you got anything to say, now's the time to say it. Oh. So just a reminder, if you're coming late to the chat, I won't be here next Saturday night. I'm now going to make these live chats every 2 weeks, not because I'm being lazy. I'm doing a live chat on Wednesday with Simon. It'll be 6 p.m. Thai time, which is 12 o'clock lunchtime UK. I know it's not the best time in the world, but because Simon's 6 hours ahead and we've got to try and fit it in where it will suit all of us, that's the only time we could really come up with. So this Wednesday, 12 o'clock, so that'll be 6 p.m. Thai time. It'll be me and Simon on the chat, and if you're in the UK, that's 12 o'clock lunchtime, and then I'll be back on my own on Saturday night, not next Saturday but the Saturday after, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few stories by then. So I'll just finish off some of your chats now, see what's going on. Right, Trevor, I like your chats, mate. Fair play to you. Yeah, thanks, Trevor. I do watch your videos, not as many as I would like to, but you do put out a lot of content, and it's sometimes I'm really busy because I still work and I'm working on my own stuff. But generally, the stuff I've seen has been pretty good. Yeah, I like the one. I think like the ones where you walk down Soy 6 and stuff like that. They're very interesting for a lot of people. They're not my favorite ones because I lived in Patty for 3 years. I prefer the ones where you sit down and you're talking to somebody, you're interviewing somebody, like you interviewed the American guy with the white hair. Was it Jerry? That was quite interesting, you know. But that's just a personal choice for me. The walk-arounds are great for people who don't know it or they just miss it. The channel, is it Bangkok 911 or 912? He hasn't uploaded anything for a year, but for me, before I had a YouTube channel, it was like a virtual night out. I mean, he's so good at doing candid photography. You know, he'll be sitting in Soy 4, and it's like sitting at a bar in Soy 4, and he's got, at last count, he had something like 600 videos up, but YouTube have demonetized him, and he hasn't put any videos up for a long time. So yeah, I don't necessarily watch the big YouTubers that, like I've mentioned before. For me, a decent YouTube channel doesn't have to have 300 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. There's one I know, he's got over 100,000 subscribers. I never watch him because I just don't like his channel. But that's personal again. There's channels I watch like Dave, Irish Dave. He's got less than 7,000 subscribers. I watch his videos just because I like him. You know, I mean, you've got to like the person presenting the videos. You know, if you look at someone and think, well, he's a dickhead, you're not going to like his channel, are you? And I'm sure some people think that about me because, like every other channel, I get people unsubscribe. But Damon, thanks for your stream, Peter. Have a safe trip to Birmingham tomorrow. Catch up soon. Yeah, you mind you, you work full time, don't you? But you always kind of leave about this time. Right, I'm going to read the last few comments out now before I go. Have the last of the beer here. Right, David Humphreys. Hello there, new molding. How's you now? You're buzzing, Patty. Hee hee. Okay. Siam Hotel, Bangkok best. Saffron, have you enjoyed a quick cheap eats at the Foodland restaurant close to? Yeah, Foodland is, when you're in Bangkok, everyone goes to Foodland, don't they? Because it's a food court, it's cheap, and you can get virtually anything you want. Yeah, it's good. Jamie G, I like working for you, retired. Yeah, okay. A lot of people obviously like his channel. One Carlos, check out Irish Times on YouTube. He does a lot about Bangkok. Look, you know, there's a lot of good channels out there at the moment. If you look on YouTube and just put Thailand vloggers, Thailand whatever, I reckon there's at least 100 different channels. And what's good about it is most people do. Got that itchy nose come back, guys. But most of the people in Thailand, they're most of them are doing different stuff. So you've got Johnny, he's in Hua Hin. You've got Trevor in Pattaya. You've got certain people in Bangkok. You've got the big ones. You've got CB Media, who's into his car. He's got nearly 300 subscribers. You've got JC, who does his traveling retirement videos, which are very, very good. You've got Brett Dev up in Chiang Mai, who does it. He's into the IT and computers. He's a bit younger than the rest of us. You've got Dave in Bangkok. I mean, we could name them all night, but you guys have got so much choice now, you know, and all of them now are doing a live stream. I'm very lucky that I got these stories and people seem to take to them, you know, but like I say, they're all different. Right. Trevor, Buzz and Patty. David, right, David Humphrey's not want to crash Peter's chat, but new molding. Wow, mate, hit me up. Okay. Right. I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. We've just hit the 2 hours. Dirty Barry, all the best. Cheers. Right. Okay. So if I doubt there's anybody here who hasn't checked out Buzz in Pattaya. Trevor's in Pattaya. He's got a great channel. You know, he's out and about. He's not just walking down saying, "Oh, look, there's a bar. It used to be open. It's closed. Must be what's happening now." I mean, he interviews people. He's well known around the town. So if you haven't checked out Buzz in Pattaya, go and have a look. And nice to have you on the stream tonight, Trevor. And you know, hopefully you'll catch Simon and I's stream on Wednesday. But to everyone else, I think we're going to be calling it an evening. Still got 186 in now, but yeah. Okay, guys, as always, I won't try and say good night to everybody. It's been a great stream. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the chat. It's been great. And I'll see you on Wednesday. And there will be more relationship videos next Saturday. Luckily, I've got quite a few lined up. If you've sent me a story, please be patient because I do them by date. The longer I've had them, the sooner they'll go up. All right. But that's it, guys. Have a great Sunday, and I'll catch you in the weekend next Saturday for some more stories.